Greetings, fellow speculators. So I've been reading financials and comparing and contrasting lots of the companies, or basically all the companies that I'm watching on ProsperousAdventure.com. And so I compiled these numbers into a list this morning, trying to get enterprise values on these companies. Basically, how much does it cost to buy the company? Less their cash and current liabilities. So looking at these, I thought I could point out some outliers that would be good ones to speculate on and learn from the data. So let's go through them. I'd like to go look at the top 6 of a couple of the different metrics that I was looking at. I'm using 6 because that's the top 20% of 33 companies I was looking at. So I'm looking at the top 20% and skipping the bottom 80%, just not even mentioning them. So here's the top 6 lowest enterprise values of the companies I compiled this morning. Sterling Energy is number 1 with the lowest enterprise value because they're trading at a good discount to cash. Enterprise value negative 49 million US dollars. All these numbers are converted to US dollars. Chariot Oil and Gas, number 2, negative $16 million. Again, trading at a discount to cash. Strategic Metals, number 3, negative $5 million. They're trading a discount to cash too. Number 4 is Kilo Gold Mines. Their price has bumped up a little bit in the last couple weeks, a penny or two, and they're trading at a premium to cash. Not much, just a hair, but you could pretty much say they're trading about cash values. Copper Bank Resources, a little one, very small market cap on that one, but they've got a little bit of cash in them, and so they've got a very small enterprise value. So, and then Alderon Iron Ore stuck out. I didn't expect this one. I didn't realize how much cash Alderon Iron Ore had in their accounts. Part of that cash, or a good deal of that cash, is tied up as security to hold their power line. They've got the local government building a power line to their project, and the government, I believe, would like to make sure that they're going to use that power line. So if this project doesn't get built for whatever reason, they don't want a dead power line there. So they've got this security deposit on tap with the government to go build that power line, or the local power utility company that's kind of backed by the government in Quebec. And so I'm not exactly sure if we should count that cash or not, but it's they've got it in their current assets. Let's move on. Let's look at the largest enterprise value. So here's the other end of the list, the ones I'm following. Largest enterprise value is FAR. They just made this sweet oil find offshore Senegal, using other companies' money. They're swinging for the fences, looking to drill more wells. So I'm not surprised that's one of the bigger ones. Reservoir Minerals, they made that really nice copper gold find in Serbia. Not surprised that's up there as well. I like how their general administrative costs is the lowest out of the bigger companies. It's higher than most of the ones I watch, but it's on the lower end of the bigger sized ones with cash and markets to speak of. Holman & Minerals has a nice looking gold discovery in Mexico. They're looking to spin off some of their other projects here pretty soon. I hope to follow that new little prospect generator really close. Pura Vida doesn't have a find yet, so I'm kind of surprised to see them up here on the bigger enterprise value list. But they do have a good deal more cash as a part of their price, almost a third compared to lots of these companies. To back them up, they've got Freeport paying the bills to swing for the fences on some oil exploration plays offshore Morocco that I'm speculating on. I hope I don't go test these cash prices pretty soon as if they miss. I hopefully there's some more upside as they potentially hit or actually hit, and to take advantage of. So this is probably the most speculative hot air in the list. Eurasian Minerals has nice gold royalty, and lots of other projects to back up this enterprise value. Canadian Overseas Petroleum is a lot like the Pura Vida in that they have a partner, ExxonMobil, willing to pay the bills to drill for large offshore oil prospect in Liberia. But I mean, if you look at G&A in lots of these companies, how much it costs to run the company, Canadian Overseas Petroleum sticks out a lot, and I'd rather take the bet on Pura Vida than Canadian Overseas Petroleum. These kinds of prices and markets, we'll see how it works in the long run. Let's look at the ones that are the most cash rich. I did a little calculation. Cash is a percentage of their price, and companies like Sterling Energy pop out again. Not only is the largest enterprise value, or the best enterprise, not the largest enterprise value, but the cheapest enterprise value, but also cash is a percentage of price. Well, this is the same list as the enterprise one, but if we look at cash as a percentage of price, it's because these guys are trading at discounts to cash, and these guys are just barely over cash prices. But if we look at the bottom of that list, I think is more information to look out for. Alton, Nevada, they just lost their partner, Tecominco. I thought Tecominco was they were drilling their project in Nevada. I thought they'd keep going after it. They walked away, and this company's got some current liabilities outstanding. They don't have much of any cash to cover it, and so they've got what looks like financial problems. I applaud their G&A. We'll see how they do going forward. Evan, the guy that runs it, keeps putting his own money in there to support that company, and we'll see how he can pull this off in the long run. Legend Gold, kind of the same story. It looks like management, Michael Wynn and the guys there have been putting in their own money to subsidize this company until it can get some projects sold to get the cash back, or do financing, or get it rolling. But right now it looks like they're broke. Canacil Resources looks like a lot of the same story. I think they keep having the same major shareholder put up money, and management and whoever else is willing, just these really small financings to keep the wheels on until hopefully the Mag Silver, their partner, pulls off a big find. Marifil, I'm just going to skip that one. They're working for free over there too. Hoping, willing this thing will hold out through the markets and make it happen. Check out the low expenses on some of these. And Laura Exploration is the one that stood out in this list. They've got higher G&A than lots of the other ones that have like little bits of nowhere near enough cash to keep running companies. I've always considered them as a well-run company in the past, very financially conservative, but these G&A numbers keep standing out, make me scratch my head. They don't have much of any cash left. Hopefully they can sell some projects, do some joint venture deals. They did sell a coal project that they should have gotten about $500,000 from, probably since these financials were posted. So hopefully that's in the accounts now. They're living on that, but it's still they're just cutting it really close. Constantine Metal, they've got Dawa as a partner paying all their bills, but they're still cutting it close cash wise. It's looks like they've got a nice find, and they don't need much of any money to run the company. They're running it on a very low expenses, but it's at the bottom of the barrel and how much cash versus the price of the companies I'm watching. I just thought I'd rank some of the G&A again. The lowest G&A cost is Kilo Gold Mines, and they've got JV with Rand Gold and Alton, Nevada. It's one we were just talking about. Marifil, the ones that don't have any money. Midland is the one that stuck out to me in this list as low G&A costs, but they've got cash. They just did a big financing. A lot of this, I think, from when they had these G&A numbers, they had like $2 million in the bank US, and now they've got 11 or something that they just raised US 14 or 15 Canadian. So maybe their G&A will go up as they have more money, which tends to happen in these kinds of companies. But we'll see how it works over time. That one is quite intriguing to me. I want to study them more as they've been running at such low costs and doing lots of joint venture deals. So I'm liking Midland more by looking at these numbers. Alianza, these numbers might be skewed because they just merged companies together, and I took these G&A numbers off of Tarsus, but I should probably add Estrella Gold numbers in there, so that might not be so accurate now that I look at it. I think either way, their numbers will probably get more efficient going forward as they're merging companies together. Caniso Resources, again, like next to no money in the account, they have to run at low G&A. And let's take a look at the worst G&A, the highest 20% of the G&A costs of all the companies I'm watching. Canadian Overseas Petroleum takes the top of the pile. I really like the deal that they put together, but wow, they charge the management tax on it. Chariot Oil and Gas, they charge a lot too, about $500,000 a month. That's a good way to make the money disappear over time. They've been lowering expenses. They just lowered the directors' fees by like $1.5 million a year. I mean, that helps, but it's still, I think, sounds like they need to do more. I think both of these guys have London offices that tack on the bills, and London costs of life that the management requires covering. Alder on iron ore, maybe that's why they're on the cheaper side enterprise value wise. They've been charging so much G&A. Sterling Energy is another London based one. You expect them to be a little higher, but still a good deal higher than lots of the ones I'm watching. Pura Vida, I've been charging some pretty good management fees. I sure hope that one pays off. Almaden Minerals, I think it's pretty good management fees. I think that'll go down drastically as they split the companies up. You have one development company and one prospect generation company. I plan to stop watching the development company and focus in on the prospect generation company. So I hope you've learned something from all these numbers I've been compiling all morning long. I certainly have been reading lots of financials and looking at lots of details in these companies, and hope to just keep digging in deeper and comparing and contrasting these companies. Thanks for listening, and if you're interested in these kinds of updates, I'd suggest you please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and feel free to leave comments in the box below. If you have questions about any of these companies, or you'd like the data sheet or the numbers, I can send them to you and you can play with them and make them dance from there. Or you have points that I miscalculated, or I left out a financing or some cash somewhere or something, feel free to point it out in the comments below. I love to learn from your points of view of this data as well. If you're seeing something in here that opened your eyes, I'd love to hear about it. So thank you.